Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Pacers Daily. I'm your host, Hery Acosta. Shout out to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring this video. Let's hop straight into it and just talk about this game. I call it a big game because Pacers are playing the Pelicans. It's basically the two worst teams in the NBA. One's 9 and 32, one's 10 and 33. One's the worst team in the West, one's the worst team in the East. Of course, sadly, we're the worst team in the East. But just a few quick facts, like things before I jump into it. Our injury report is just Matherin, Jackson, Toppin, and Halliburton still. Still no full timetable on Matherin or when Isaiah Jackson's finally going to get back on the floor. That concussion did take him out for a bit. Pelicans, just Herb Jones, Alvarado, and DeJounte Murray really have been the only injuries they've had recently. Alvarado's oblique injury is a little newer, but he's going to be out for a bit. But let's look into some stats because both these teams are terrible. But when it actually comes to points per game, Pacers are almost dead last. Pacers are 28th with 110 points a game. The Pelicans are tied for 20th, almost 115 points a game. So it's not fully lackluster offense. Yes, the Pacers are not scoring at the rate that they usually do, especially last season when they were the fastest team in the league. And the season before, they were one of the fastest teams in the league. Field goal percentage, 44% field goal percentage for the Pacers. They're worst in the NBA. Now, their 3-point percentage isn't horrible, 34%. They're tied for 24th. Actually better than the Pelicans. But then rebounds were close to the bottom of the league. Same with offensive rebounds. Assists were usually top because, losing Halliburton, you lose 10 to 12 assists per game. Just with him out. And you probably lose a lot more because he's also a really good scorer. And then we're one of the top in turnovers. We have 13 a game. Our true shooting percentage is 55, dead last in the league. Effective field goal percentage also dead last, and our offensive rating is dead last. Now our defensive rating is actually not bad. It's a 117.8. We're in the middle of the league. But just overall, really not stats that you want to, carry into a season just because we've seen what the Pacers have done over the last few years. Now, a lot of it's been good. A lot of it's been great. Obviously, making the Eastern Conference Finals, losing to the eventual champion Boston Celtics, and then making it to the NBA Finals for the first time in 25 years. I mean, that's something that no one really expected. Not a lot of people were really thinking that the Pacers would be the best team and one of the best teams in the league. So close, yet so far we are at the moment. Now, we know that this season is a little lost, but there's still a lot that we can take away, which is why I think this game is a good one. I want to win this game just because I want Carlisle to stick around because I think he is the best person to coach Halliburton and anyone, especially when everyone comes back for next season. And we're going to have a high draft pick. So keep that draft pick, even if we're going to make a trade, because I am going to talk about trade rumors here later. So we got to make sure that everything just stays the way it is right now and not go too crazy. But for this game, I just want to make sure that Trey Murphy, he's been on a tear. It's been 34 points, 31 points, 21 points, 35 points, 42 points. His season average went from like 17, 18 points per game up to 22 points per game now. And it's because he's shooting 50% from the field while also shooting almost 40% from three. His numbers are just flat out ridiculous. He's at a 5 for 13 from three, 7 for 16 for three, 6 of 17, 7 of 15. 6 for 17 isn't the best, but he also had a 6 of 9, 5 of 10. Been a heck of a 3-point shooter this year. We know Murphy's a good 3-point shooter. He's probably the number one player to look at for this game. Obviously, the other one is Zion Williamson. Now, Zion Williamson, when healthy, torches the Pacers. He's currently averaging 22.4 points this year, along with 5.7 rebounds. Now, Sadiq Bey is another one that can get hot at any moment. Same with Jordan Poole off the bench. It's a little interesting that they're using Jordan Poole off the bench as much as they are. He's pretty much he was a consistent starter, obviously, in Washington and started out this year as a starter and then recently transitioned into the bench role. Well, not recently. He's been in the bench most of the season, but they got a really good rookie in Jeremiah Fears, and Derek Queen is also really good. He's had triple doubles like it's nothing this year. I mean, obviously it's only two, but he can pretty much get a triple double whenever he wants. Just he had a 28, 10, and sorry, he had a 14, 16, and 12 game against Washington on the 9th. Heck of a good passer for being a big man. And then his other big triple double was against San Antonio, 33, 10, and 10. Now they did lose that game by 3, but I mean, that was his first career triple double. And we know what Derek Queen is capable of, so he's definitely one to look at. Now I want to talk about players that the Pacers are, we can hopefully they play their best. We're going to start with Siakam. Now, I talk about Siakam every day. Why? Because he's the only player on this team that's genuinely giving us hope right now. Currently at 23.6 points, 6.9 rebounds, 3.9 assists. And he's doing it pretty consistently outside of one game I talked about the other day, which was the Miami Heat game where he had 11 points. But overall, Siakam has been the best player on this team, and he is the best player on this team. If you're talking like stats wise or just career wise, no one comes close to him. In my opinion, I do think Halliburton is the best player on this team skill wise, but leadership wise and everything, Siakam is just in his own league on this team. But a lot of the players that we are playing with are young. Nembhard has been having a good season, 17 points per game, 7 assists, but he's very inconsistent. Aaron Nesmith just shot a 1 for 12 not too long ago. Can't really be having that a lot because we need this team to just be as good as they can be, even if we're going to keep losing. We just want some hope. I mean, this is the perfect time to get some crazy stat lines. Drop 50, drop 40, drop 30 with 6 threes. But off the bench, outside of McConnell, our bench hasn't been stepping up too much. Now, Jarris Walker was one I was really, really hoping would have a crazy good season, but he's averaging 9 points a game. He's still 22 years old, so there's still time. Jay Huff, I was hoping he'd be doing better. I mean, his scoring is okay, 8.4, and his blocking is absurd. I mean, 2.2 blocks a game. That's at the moment second in the league because Wemby's still hasn't played the necessary amount of games to be number one. But as soon as he gets back on that track, he's going to be number one. Furphy has been doing pretty good recently. He had that double-double the other day. So I'm hoping to see more, especially now that he's actually starting games. I mean, Furphy before this season had not started a game. But obviously, it's only his second year. But he played 50 games last year, was averaging 2 points. Now he's averaging 5 points, 3 rebounds, 0.5 steals, and 0.1 blocks. But this is now in 16 minutes rather than 8 minutes. So there's some games where Furphy plays 25 minutes, and there's been games where he doesn't play. So I just want to see more consistency out of this team. I want to see Shepard do more. I want to see Quentin Jackson do more. It is their time to step up because we don't have anyone else that's going to. We need Cam Jones to play some more minutes. Hopefully he can step up. Hopefully we bring in a new center because Tony Bradley's not going to cut it on our third string. Micah Potter's been good. He's actually kind of been a diamond in the rough. He's averaging 7.6 points, 3.5 rebounds, and 49% shooting, which that is really good, especially because he's kind of he spaces the floor very well as a center. He's more of a 3-point threat. But, I mean, last game against Toronto, he played 7 minutes and only had 1 rebound. But then all the way back against Orlando, he had 11 and 10 on 3 of 5 shooting. So we need, as a team, to just figure out what we want to do rotation-wise. And I just think there's a lot more that goes into it. So I'm really hoping to see some changes there and just seeing what we can do. But fast breaks, buzzer beaters, and block parties are back, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players are going to go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, steals, and more. Get your picks right, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. This week, we're actually going to look at 2 players that are playing against each other, LeBron James and LaMelo Ball. Now, year 23, LeBron is still doing LeBron things. His projection is currently at 23.5 points. with Luca gonna probably drop 30 in the first 3 quarters, I still think LeBron's gonna have a good game. Now 23 and a half, I'm gonna go higher. Now that might be a little risky, but a little higher, just because we've seen what he can do. They're playing the Hornets. The Hornets aren't the best defensive team, and LeBron's been having games of over 23.5, of higher than 23.5 in the last few games. But just overall, I think he's going to go higher. And then LaMelo Ball, his projection is currently at 19 and a half. I think he's going to go higher as well. There's no reason that he should score less than 20 points in this game. So that one's just pretty much simple. He's going to go higher than 19 and a half. So those are my predictions for that. Just download the app today. Use promo code BasketballFan to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. Once again, that is code BasketballFan. Underdog. Make picks. Win money.
Must be 18 plus. 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska. 19 plus in Colorado for some games. 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia. And present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/play and get terms DFSTML for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 helpline at 1-877-8 or text from 467-369.
All right, welcome back. Let's have some fun. I want to talk about some trade rumors. Now, who's going to get traded? Is it going to be Mathurin? Is it going to be Jarris Walker? Is it going to be Shepard, Obi Toppin? Who is getting traded? My number one prediction is that Benedict Mathurin is going to get traded. Now, I like Benedict Mathurin. I have his jersey. I think he's a great player. But if we want to grab a big player, Mathurin's going to have to be involved. If we want to get a player like Ivica Zubac, we want to get a Nikola Vucevic, or heck, if we want to go young and get a Walker Kessler, Mathurin will most likely be in this trade. Now, Mathurin and Kessler came in the same draft. Mathurin was a lot higher drafted. But besides injuries, Kessler has so far been better. Now, obviously, he's been on a rough team. He's been on the Jazz. Jazz have made no noise in the NBA for years. But if he comes back strong and he's on our team, that's a double-double threat with 2.5 blocks waiting to happen. Crazy good interior defender, crazy good in just post player in general. And he's really good on the pick and roll. Just pair him up with Halliburton, and that's easy dimes all day in the paint. Halliburton can have Kessler averaging 16 points, 18 points. I like that. I like that one. Zubac is another one. He's just a really much an older version of Kessler. Not as good of a shot blocker and really not as good of a defender in general, but a really good rebounder. And another one to look out would be Yusuf Nurkic. Now, Nurkic is also on the Jazz. I personally would just want Nurkic for the rebounding because he is one of the best rebounders in the league. He had a 30 rebound game only a few years ago when he was still on the Suns. That dude can grab a rebound from anywhere. So I really like rebounding. I think that good rebounders make a team because, I mean, without good rebounders, the other team is just going to keep getting the ball. So that's been a big issue with the Pacers over the last few years. The fact that teams get a lot of offensive rebounds against us because Turner was never a good rebounder, and a lot of our players just drop the ball when they try to get off the glass. So you just look for a good rebounder, and especially one that's a good post player because, I mean, look at Walker Kessler, look at Zubac. These players are pretty much unguardable down there. And then maybe if we don't want to splurge too much, look for an Andre Drummond. I know the Sixers probably aren't going to care too much if someone goes for Drummond. Now, obviously, he's not going to be a starter, but just someone who can come off the bench, give you 8 and 10, 8 points, 10 rebounds off the bench. Perfect. I mean, all he really does is just rebound anyways. Or if we want to go outside of the realm of centers, Lauri Markkanen, he's going to be on the trade block. Obviously, Jonathan Kuminga is now going to be on the trade block. He just demanded a trade out of the Warriors. I think Kuminga would be a good fit, but that's another one where you probably have to trade Mathurin. Maybe flip those two. One of the teams has to give up a pick. Because whose value is even better right now? Is it Mathurin's or is it Kuminga's? I personally think Mathurin has a higher value. but I don't think the Warriors are gonna want to trade Kuminga if Kuminga's not the main piece in the trade. So that's one to dwell on. And then last but not least, I want to talk about some changes I'm personally making when I talk. I want to make these videos more interactive. So I want, if people comment, I want to talk about comments. I want to make a segment out of any comments. So if someone wants me to talk about my opinions on Siakam, Nemhard, a certain player you guys want us to look at during free agency next year or during the trade block, I gladly want to talk about. I want people to enjoy this channel as much as they can. I really love talking about the Pacers. I love just sitting here, you know, dropping either my knowledge or my opinions, just what I know, everything. And I just want to continue this journey of everybody because it has been very fun so far. I love doing this. It's been amazing. Thank you to Underdog for making all this possible. But overall, yeah, I just want to make this a little bit more interactive. I want to talk about what everyone wants me to talk about. You know, if you want to hear more about your favorite player, your least favorite player, whether you think Rick Carlisle's a good coach or not, any of that. I want to answer all those questions, give out my opinions, and just, talk about it. Plus, I want to make these episodes a little longer too. Maybe give people more reason to want to comment and more reason to want to talk about these kind of things. So I'm definitely going to be doing that. Most definitely starting next week, I'm going to be making these videos a little longer and just flat out finding more things to talk about. I'm going to make the segments more open. So I'm not going to do like one segment's just talking about, I don't know, Scotty Barnes. If we're playing, replayed the Raptors, I had one segment of Scotty Barnes. I want one segment to be like a recap of the recent game or a preview. So if I make this on a day of a game, it's going to be a preview. It's going to be a day after a game. It's going to be a recap. And just going to have a full recap. And then I'm going to talk about, best players or people who I think should play better. And then just have that segment. And then my third and fourth segments, fun stuff. Like whatever you guys want me to talk about, I can make those my third and fourth segments. Um, Always just with a big finish because I just want people to enjoy this more because I know I'm enjoying it, but I just want everyone else to enjoy it. But like I always say, thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. This is Hery Acosta on Pacers Daily. Boom, baby, and go, sirs.